Maybe it wasn't planned after all, by sineaterbunn. Come on, Mackerel, we gotta get going. The boss is not gonna let slide one more late attendance after last week's. Dazai groaned behind Chuya, dragging his feet to follow his partner and try to keep up with him. But Chuya, I'm tired. We just killed those guys. Doesn't that give us enough of an excuse to be late for that stupid meeting? Then you tell the boss that yourself. I'm not gonna get scolded because of you. And in fact, the scene around them would have caused more than a shocked reaction to a normal civilian. Surrounding the duo, at least 10 more were out of combat or straight dead after the inevitable attack of Double Black, the strongest partnership in Yokohama, if not all of Japan. Moments ago, Chuya had followed Dazai's meticulous plan to take down a group of informants who were exchanging confidential matter from the port mafia. It only took them exactly 3 minutes and 41 seconds to call themselves victorious. Not bad for some teenagers who enjoyed going to an arcade more than working on paperwork after their missions. Chibi is not funny, Dazai pouted, rolling his eyes while crossing his arms. He didn't even care when the bad guy hit me and threw me across the warehouse. Wasn't that part of your plan? That came out paired with a mocking tone. I thought Mr. Demon Prodigy had everything perfectly calculated. Guess you're losing your touch. I'm not losing my... A shuffle and a thought behind Chuya made him feel uneasy enough to turn around and maybe, just out of curiosity, make sure his annoying partner was okay. It's not that he cared about Dazai, but it'd be a pain in the ass if the bastard decided to make a whole show just to be dramatic. Instead, what Chuya saw was the teenager trying to get up, a notorious trembling on his legs not allowing him to. There was also a distant gaze where the usual mischievous light should be, and a distressed expression where Chuya was used to see a smirk. Hey, are you okay? Quickly, he rushed next to Dazai's side. Being up close, Chuya could have a better look at the clammy look on his skin and a little trail of something red running down Dazai's bangs and onto the bandages covering his right eye. Blood. Do I look okay? Dazai pointed out, clearly out of breath as if he had just ran a marathon, but it was probably just the nausea acting up. Everything's blurry. I don't like it. His breathing became even more labored, as if the incapability to see clearly was making him freak out. Shit, Mackerel, calm down. Chuya reached out to grab Dazai's chin with one hand, raising the other one with 3 raised fingers. How many fingers am I holding up? 2? Dazai's voice came full of uncertainty, as if he was afraid to the answer itself. No, wait, 3? Not what I wanted to hear, but good enough, he muttered under his breath, still holding the other's face, bringing now the free hand to touch Dazai's forehead. You're burning. I'm gonna call the cab to come pick us up. I guess you won this time, bastard. We aren't going to Mori's. You have a concussion. Part of Dazai relaxed at the thought of not having to attend another boring gathering for God knows how many hours. But the other part acknowledged that, even if he was out of work for however many days this was going to take to heal, that didn't mean Chuya would be there too. He didn't like being apart from his partner. What if he was going on missions with another guy? And if he liked the other guy more than him? But before more thoughts could pile up giving him a bigger headache, Chuya pulled out his phone and brought it to his ear, having already started the call. We've finished the mission for today. I'm fine, but Dazai got injured. Tell Mori he's staying with me until further notice. Also, send us a cab, please. I'll text you our location. That didn't sound like a direct call to the driver. Chuya must have called someone else then. But to be fair, in Dazai's state, his mind wasn't working in the same way as usual. So everything he could do was staring at his partner with his best confused face he could manage to make. It was Hirotu. I figured it'd be easier to have him being our messenger, don't you think? Chuya brought back his attention to Dazai, reading his expression. And you'll come with me. I don't trust you on taking care of yourself on that shitty container of yours. Deal, Dazai wanted to answer, but the heaviness was already lulling him to sleep. Maybe Chuya wouldn't mind if he started resting before reaching his apartment. But the sudden movement of Chuya shaking him awake told him otherwise. Don't you dare fall asleep. You can't, under any circumstance, fall asleep until I treat you. It isn't good, got it? Dazai did his best to nod. Even when doing it, sent waves of dizziness and even more nausea if that was possible. So he just decided to lower his gaze and stare at the floor, shifting his attention to the blood splattered all over the place. Every few minutes, Chuya would check on him and make sure he was still awake and, well, alive, as I wasn't planning to die soon either way. Or maybe he was, but not out of a concussion, shouldn't be exactly a painless and exciting death as he'd always wished for. So he put his own effort on keeping his eyes open and his mind running. Finally, the sound of a car pulling over caught their attention. Chuya managed to put Dazai on his back and carry him to the cab without moving him too much. The driver didn't give them a second glance, even when Dazai started whining and covering his eyes so the lights on the driveway wouldn't disturb him. Once they reached the complex apartment where Chuya lived, he carried Dazai again out of the car and into the building, having taken off his jacket to cover the other's head and avoid any more sensory issues. And if Chuya was having a mini internal crisis over the fact of not knowing exactly how to take care of Dazai and a concussion, he didn't say a word. Instead, gave himself words of encouragement and decided he'd take care of things on the go. Hi, I'm P or J, whatever you want to call me. This is my first podcast, Podfic, and I'm not even native, like English is not my native language, so I'm sorry if I just ate up words or my accent slipped up once or twice, so yeah. Do give me your thoughts. Thank you so much, sineaterbunn, for giving me permission to podfic this. I love it. It's such a sweet fic and I adore it to death. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for listening.